has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. All right, here we go. We're on right now. We got to get you. Thanks so much. Oh, I love M&Ms. How did she know? Everybody knows crack addicts love candy. I'm not a crack addict, but I was hoping to be by the end of the week. Is there anything better? Did I just not talk about eating 5 million M&Ms and that I'm addicted to them, and that when I stick my hand in the coffee, in the jar, I got this huge, I have a huge vat of M&Ms in my house for my kids. Yeah. And when I eat handfuls, like 1,000 at a time, and I don't get zits. I'm too old. So I just eat chocolate, and all I do is just get fatter.
Those are new.
These are the greatest things ever.
Peanut butter M&Ms.
Peanut butter M&Ms. It'll be the death of me.
And they are delicious.
You know, I freeze the peanut ones, and I use the regular M&Ms in room temperature. But the frozen, do you like the frozen peanut M&Ms?
I like them as is.
As is, just as normal. Is. Well, I eat the regular ones as is, and then I'll have to try these.
And this will not be
good. This will not be good for me, Bruce. Yeah. Look, hey, Carver High, you see it's your boy over here, Bruce Smith. You see the guy in the green shirt right there in the monitor?
I do.
He is the biggest Buffalo Bill fan in the world. Look at him nodding.
Go
It's
Bills.
the last time he's ever nodded at anything I've ever said.
That right there, sitting next to you right now, Scotty, that man is the baddest man that ever played defense in the NFL. None of your Steeler nonsense that you always bring up into that table. That guy right there is the baddest dude that ever played defensive end in the NFL. Right there.
And I'm a Steeler season ticket holder, and I went to all 6 Steeler Super Bowls, including the Steel Curtain defense. And to have you shame Mean Joe Green, who I want to see one-on-one against Bruce Smith, the 2 baddest men ever on the planet. We welcome our radio affiliates, Sirius XM, Channel 159, Sports Byline, and all their affiliates. This is God right here for Bills fans, Bruce Smith. And then I would have Joe Green. And there is no way that these Hall of Fame legends would ever – I mean, Joe Green, when the Steelers got Joe Green, that was the end of their problems.
Joe's my man.
They started winning Super Bowls once they got
man.
him. And my other guy, how about this one? Jack Lambert, Jack Ham.
Jack, all of them.
How about 2 white boys being that tough? I was surprised at that. But when you see the guy take his teeth out, you know he means business. Chuck Liddell was just here, the UFC fighter. Yeah. He takes his teeth out, too. Any guy, listen, Bruce, if any guy takes their teeth out before they fight you, you know you might have a problem on your hands. The guy that pulls the teeth out.
It's a problem.
How did you hook up with M&Ms? Having a friend like M&Ms is like, that's like having juice like no other. It'd be one thing to be in the Hall of Fame. It'd be another thing if you're styling and you're friends with M&Ms.
That's pretty impressive.
It really is.
Yeah, man. When I got the phone call that I was going to have the opportunity to be in a commercial for this iconic brand, and they were making a new M&M for this year's Super Bowl. Peanut butter M&Ms.
And the Almost Champions ring.
Almost Champions ring that they made out of M&M's peanut butter.
And wait a minute, you're dealing with T.O. and Dan Marino. I used to go watch Marino play at Pitt Stadium in Pittsburgh when he was a kid in college, and there was nothing like it. I used to go watch Tony Dorsett and Hugh Green. Hugh Green was another badass.
A lot of history.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I used to go watch Johnny Majors and Jackie Sherrill. That's how old I am.
Yeah. Wow.
That I can remember that. It's a good sign that I can remember those names.
It's a very good thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to say, I think I eat, when I was addicted to M&Ms, on average, I think I eat close to...
Crack a bag open and taste it.
This is stop. Yeah. Don't start. You have to understand, I'm completely addicted. My producer, in my ear in New York right now, for my Christmas present, this guy bought me a gigantic bowl of M&Ms. And what I do is I go to the store and I buy the big giant family bag of it, and I fill it up every week like I'm filling up my gas tank, and I eat 5,000 M&Ms a day. Yeah. That's why I'm so fat. I blame it all on M&Ms.
You don't look too bad.
They're so delicious.
Yeah.
They're like, some people like ice cream. I like Orville Redenbacher popcorn and M&Ms. I think they're the 2 greatest things ever invented.
Ice cream and M&Ms is not bad.
No, I don't like ice cream. I do like it, but I don't love it like I love popcorn and M&Ms.
Right. I love some popcorn.
Like, if I can pull out a bag of peanut frozen M&Ms with my wife and watch a movie, I got like a 70% chance of getting nookie.
You got to try those.
All right, I'll do it.
Peanut butter M&Ms.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I want to see it. Yeah, almost like having an orgasm.
Oh, my God. That is the greatest thing. I mean, that is better than sex. That is great. And I knew it. I couldn't eat just one. Look what you've done to me. Get out of here. And those people that are your handlers,
Yeah.
they're giving me the business right now. Did you see the lady? She gave me one of these. Like, cut him off. We've got to go. We're done with this guy with the gravelly voice. And that was the chick that walked in front of the cameras. She's like a supermodel walking in front of my cameras, this chick.
Oh,
Bruce,
man.
I love you. Screw the Bills.
Back at you.
I'm a Steeler fan. Carver,
Go Bills.
Hey, Carver High, say goodbye to your boy here.
Go Bills.
Bruce Smith, a legend.
Bruce, all the love, baby. Go Bills. Go Bills, Bruce. We love you.
Go Bills.
Hey, thanks, dude. You're a badass. I love you. Those are the best things I've ever eaten in my life. Thanks for ruining my day. Let me throw it to Carver High now in New York.
Well, there you go. I mean, Bruce gave you the huge bag of M&Ms. I mean, that's outstanding what Bruce just did for you right there. I mean, he brings it. He even bring you a gift. Who else brought you a gift out there today at the media center that they have going on? You're loading up more.
Take those.
You want coffee to take them now. You don't even want them holding on.
I had to take them. Because give them to Misty. She'll eat them. Here, listen, Misty, take this. Misty, take this. I can't eat it. I'm fat. I'm disgusting. And I'm a pig, and I will eat both of those bags. Mafia started all of this, by the way. He bought me a 20,000-gallon jug of M&Ms. Kristen bought them. His wife bought them, and I blame her and him for she bought them, he brought them. What is the difference? They're both in on it together. Mafia and his lovely wife have contributed to my downfall. I can't stop eating M&Ms. When I went on my diet, which lasted 2 days and 4 hours, I didn't eat any M&Ms for 2 days and 4 hours. And I walked 7 miles, and I lost 7 pounds. And then I came to Las Vegas, and I gained 15 pounds drinking rum, and I just gained a pound eating 4 M&Ms with peanut butter in it. Peanut butter is also a creamy, enjoyable surface material sent from the gods. Everyone loves peanut butter, Carver High, as you know. I like Nutter Butters. I cannot open a bag of Nutter Butters without eating the entire bag of Nutter Butters. However, it does cause horrific constipation.
I don't have it. I don't eat it. No peanut butter for me.
Peanut butter
None for me.
You up. You're like a dog in heat out there trying to
I don't like it.
bust off a yam of peanut butter. You're not a fan?
None for me. Nope, I'm not in. Everyone else around the house eats it, not me. No peanut butter here. I
don't do yogurt or pudding or gelato, creamy.
I mean, you even gave him the no
tacos.
on the ice cream. Bruce tried giving you the ice cream there, and you gave him the no. You gave him the absolutely not. No, you want the popcorn with the M&Ms. You're going for and sweet is what you were throwing him.
I like popcorn better than I like my family. I like Orville Redenbacher with salt better than I love my family. It is true. I eat a bag of Orville Redenbacher every day of my life. Every single effing day.
Forget what your offense is, like the Baltimore Ravens did against the Kansas City Chiefs. Work off of Christian McCaffrey, but I do believe Brock Purdy is ready for the moment, at least play-calling-wise.
Kyle Shanahan, who called the plays as the offensive coordinator, had a 25-point lead, and his running back, Devontae Freeman, with that 25-point lead, touched the ball 4 times in the second half.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Super Bowl is set in Vegas. We get a rematch from just a few years ago.
The only consistency in the playoffs has been Travis Kelce.
Brock Purdy, back-to-back weeks throwing one touchdown pass, right? You can't win MVP with one touchdown pass. I hate the Chiefs, but I bet on them.
This is going to be a game that is played inside a field goal now from a spread perspective.
All that matters is there's one game left, the big game.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
They have played terrible football, and yet they always win. Have you noticed? Everyone keeps talking about how bad the Niners suck as they win every week. They win every game, even games they should have. They're down 24-7, and they still won.
Now we have the first excuse when the Niners lose on Sunday night. They practiced on a bad field at UNLV. They didn't get the proper conditions.
Ferrall coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Carver, what do you think of the chick that I told you about that can solve crimes based on knowing when everyone ever is lying? So, like, she investigates, like, crimes, and she's not a cop. She's like a private investigator, and she... if you've ever seen that show, I think it's on Peacock, and she can tell when everyone's lying to her, always. Anyone lies in the room, she knows they're lying. What a special, unique skill that would be to have the ability to be Spider-Man or the ability to know when people are lying to you. I also, as you know from earlier in the show today, can detect, I have my hate radar out. I can detect people that hate me. Now, that is different, as you know. Mafia taught me a long time ago, I'd rather be hated than disliked. I do not have the ability to gauge if I am disliked as opposed to being full-on hated.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with any of that. What's the name of this show that you're telling me about? What are you telling me about? What is the name of this show?
It's called Poker Face. I thought the first 3 episodes were decent, and then I dove off the ship. I mean, I was in it, and then the 4th and 5th, crimes were pretty lame, and I'd had enough of her. But I know that the first 3 episodes, I told you the story about the guy that was on the roof, and he shoved the guy off that had the winning scratch-off $25,000 ticket, and he shoved him off the roof, then beat him with a tire iron to death, and then tried to pull off the scam that he was the winner of the scratch-off $25,000. He went into the store, he bought a scratch-off, slipped it in his pocket, Jimmy style, pulled out the one with the win on it, and went, "Oh my God, I've won!" And everyone knew he was lying because she knew he was lying, because she knew that he was lying, that the serial number on the ticket was different than the winner that actually...
It's very easy to tell. It's very easy to know where the ticket was bought.
Here comes Michael Pittman, and my man, it's good to meet you. I'm Ferrall. So we got a real problem going on here. I got to tell you, so you're going to get in on this real quick. This show is bizarre, unlike anything you've done today. Okay. I can promise you that. All right, first of all, if a chick Like this chick we know in the show, she solves crimes because she knows when people are lying. Have you ever seen that show, Poker Face, where the chick can tell when you're lying? Anyone in the room that's lying, she knows you're lying and you're busted. When a woman has the skill to know you're lying, they can take advantage of you. So what happened was this guy, in one of the crimes, he was on the roof of a gas station with his buddy who had won a $25,000 scratch-off game, and your boy shoved him off the roof. He landed. He thought he was dead, but when he went down to see if he was dead, he was still breathing and moving. So he beat him to death with a tire iron, took the winning ticket. Then he went across the store and bought a scratch-off ticket, and he turned around in the gas station and he went, he put the old one in his pocket and he scratched off the new one and he pulled the old one back out and he's like, oh my God, I've won. So when he went around, he won the money, started living the high life. Here comes this chick and she's like, I know you're lying. And she's like, because the serial number on the ticket, the scratch-off ticket, was not purchased by you at this hour in this gas station. It was purchased by the guy that is now dead. So then they pinned the murder on him, and he was finished, and he went to jail for life. What would you do if every chick you ever knew that you were lying? You would be at a massive disadvantage. That'd be like if you're playing with the Colts and there's no press defense against you and no one guards you on the outside. Imagine the productivity and targets you would have if no one ever guarded you.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds a lot like my wife. Like she knows every time I'm not telling the truth.
She knows. His wife knows every single time that he's lying. I have another problem for you. I was reading about you that you used to, I don't know if you still do, eat pasta before your games.
Yes.
Now, last night I went out and I went with a guy that's healthy to dinner, and he says to me, I'm on a health kick. I said, isn't that nice? I said, well, I'm going to buy you dinner. And he said, I'll have a salad. And I was like, well, isn't that femmy? I'm going to have a salad with chicken. I'm going to have a bruschetta. Bring that out with the tomatoes and the bread. And then I said, while you're at it, bring me a gigantic bowl of pasta. And then, while we're here, we might as well order some meatballs.
There you go.
So I ate all of that, and I had a giant rum. And I believe the key to some of your greatness on the football field would have to be because of the fact that you ate pasta all the time.
Absolutely. So it is a great carbohydrate load, and it gets you ready to
strength
to sustain that energy level for 4 hours.
So how many times did you implore your tactic of eating pasta? Did it start in high school?
Yes.
Pop Warner? High school. And then it proceeded to follow you to college, and then you still ate like spaghetti before every game?
Yes.
Do you prefer linguine or spaghetti or bow tie or ravioli type noodles?
Definitely just normal
spaghetti.
Yeah.
Do
Normal.
you prefer a plain spaghetti with sauce, homemade sauce, or do you prefer having sausage or bolognese, the cooked meat, bolognese, or homemade sliced sausages in your spaghetti?
So I'm kind of more of a flavor of the day type guy. So sometimes I'll eat it plain. Sometimes I'll put sauce on it, and sometimes when it's early enough, I'll even put syrup on it.
So wait a minute. Now, I also know that you do that. You're a breakfast fiend. Now, I believe that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. The problem I have is the other day I went to the Griddle Cakes place, and I had a short stack, which equated to 3 gigantic pancakes. And then I proceeded to, in front of my friends, pour a gallon of syrup on top with butter, and I ate all 3 of them, and I ate a plate of bacon, and I had like 5 coffees. And you wonder why I'm fat. But when I go to eat, I don't go to have a bowl of fruit and a, easy over egg, or like a glass of orange juice. I drink coffee to ruin my stomach, and I eat pancakes, a lot of them, and syrupy. Have you ever been to Dupar's in Las Vegas at the, it's out in Summerlin at the, what is it, I can never think of it. The Gold Coast, is that the name of the place? I think it is. The greatest pancake house you've ever been to in your life. Their pancakes are the size of this table. And if you ate one of them, you would be completely full. If you could eat 2, you're like a rock star. 3, you're a god. If you ate 3 Dupar's pancakes, there is no one. Hey, tell him, Carver High, tell Pittman that you cannot finish 3 Dupar's pancakes. Tell him. You see the guy?
Impossible.
Yep.
No shot. No shot. Can't finish 3 bars, man. Can't do it.
You do all that, the breakfast and the eggs and the scramble, and then you got the pancakes and French toast going.
I mean, I've never done that before, but like I'm more of just a straight pasta guy, and that's pretty much my plain meal. And then like then I'll do some chicken on top.
You're a great, perfectly fit, toned athlete, 0 body fat. You have no gut whatsoever. You're a handsome fella, thin, tall, great receiver, superstar, and then you don't exploit yourself to any delicacies. Like I'm on an all-you-can-eat plan in Vegas. Everywhere I go, all you can eat all night. All you can eat all night. But you got pasta fills you up, so you got to go slow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm really just a product of working out a lot and just being a high calorie burner because, like I do eat like that sometimes, like just not often.
You're a badass receiver. Good luck with your career. I enjoy watching you play. I went to the Steelers Monday night game that you lost at Lucas last year. I flew into Indy to see that game. Yep. I'm a Steeler fan, so I can only go. I do games on Sunday, but I went to watch you play. You're fantastic. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Michael Pittman.
Forget what your offense is, like the Baltimore Ravens did against the Kansas City Chiefs. Work off of Christian McCaffrey, but I do believe Brock Purdy is ready for the moment, at least play-calling-wise.
Kyle Shanahan, who called the plays as the offensive coordinator, had a 25-point lead, and his running back, Devontae Freeman, with that 25-point lead, touched the ball 4 times in the second half.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Super Bowl is set in Vegas. We get a rematch from just a few years ago.
The only consistency in the playoffs has been Travis Kelce.
Brock Purdy, back-to-back weeks throwing 1 touchdown pass, right? You can't win MVP with 1 touchdown pass. I hate the Chiefs, but I bet on them.
This is going to be a game that is played inside a field goal now from a spread perspective.
All that matters is there's 1 game left, the big game.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
They have played terrible football, and yet they always win. Have you noticed? Everyone keeps talking about how bad the Niners suck as they win every week. They win every game, even games they should have. They're down 24-7, and they still won.
Now we have the first excuse when the Niners lose on Sunday night. They practiced on a bad field at UNLV. They didn't get the proper conditions.
Ferrall coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
So I don't know if you saw at the MGM, they actually have the SportsGrid set up with the BetMGM desk for all the other shows that we're doing here at the Super Bowl. And one of the unique things about the desk that Carl Cutforth made for the Super Bowl was, and I don't know if any of you have seen this yet, but Carver High has heard about it. He probably hasn't seen it yet, but actually the desk itself is an ATM machine, and it's got a slice in the front of it. And what happens is when you stand on the circle in front of the desk, $158 flies out of the machine into your hand and literally lands in your hand, and all of them with the president's face facing upwards. They land perfectly, they're flying out of the machine, and they land right in your hand, all facing up, $158. And then if you refuse to give the machine the $5 that you owe it for the $158, another giant hammer comes out from the other side of the desk and smashes your skull in. So the key to the deal is to actually put the $5 in the one slice, and then you get $158 out. If you refuse to give the $5, you could potentially have your face smashed in. Remember, like in Tom and Jerry, the cartoon Carver High, when he'd smash him over the head with like a hammer, a giant hammer, and it would cause the cat to have tremendous dizziness. Same kind of thing that they have at the MGM desk. So if you sign up for the BetMGM app and you bet $5 standard odds price, you're going to get $158 instantly. And listen, all you have to do is get the app. So download the app on iOS or Android or Play Store, and then BetMGM.com has it as well. Load up, start your account, put $5 in it, make a bet, $5, boom, you're getting $158 in bonus bets instantly. You're going to love it. Check it out at BetMGM.com. We've had tremendous guests here today. I did hear Michael Pittman. When he was leaving the set and going down the stairs, he looked at me and he said, "Those were the weirdest questions anyone's ever asked me. Nice to meet you." And he left. Into the wind he went. And, I said to Carver High in the break, how much can I possibly talk about the Indianapolis Colts without talking about their loser owner, who's had so many problems? I can't keep track of it, Carver High. I can't follow his overdoses and everything else that happened, and his near-death experiences, or his rock band.
He's got a rock band too, huh? I didn't realize he was in the owner rock band club with James Dolan. I didn't realize they play together, or is there separate rock bands that they're a part of, I suppose?
They are. Your boy, so he does rock concerts. He's in some kind of band, and he jams and sings and does all that stuff, puts on the whole act like Nashville style. And he is a musician. He can jam. I know he can jam. I know Dolan can jam. I do know this. Dolan, of course, has been accused of all kinds of crazy things and sexual abuse and everything else, allegedly. At least when you're dealing with the owner of the Colts, it's just strictly drugs. He's never attacked any women, so he's got that going for him.
He does have
to
that
keep
going
tabs
for him,
on the
that's for
wife
sure.
beaters. You know what I mean? You know how I am.
Yes. Well, we have to make sure that we keep tabs on all of them. All right, before whoever's coming over to you next, I think it's Warrick Dunn, whoever's going to be there. We can get a little bit in from the game. We haven't talked about the game at all today, of course. We're finally there, like 3 days away. I mean, thank God. It's been a very long 2 weeks waiting for this game to start.
It always is.
And the Chiefs, Scotty, people are starting to say they're the villains now. Why? Because when you win a lot, people start to hate you. It's called Patriot syndrome. Nobody likes you when you start winning all the time. Patrick Mahomes has also started to feel some of those sentiments. Here he is.
I know everyone prefers to be liked, but is it a role that you kind of enjoy in a way? Do you feed off of that?
Not necessarily. I think
That's a no.
I just like winning. If you win a lot and that causes you to be a villain, then I'm okay with it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to enjoy playing the game and try to win as much as possible.
I mean, duh. Like, it's simple. When you're on top, people hate you. When you go to the top, they like you. When you're there, they get sick of you, and they turn on you. And it happens in sports more than anything else. It's simple. It happens all the time.
It does happen all the time, indeed. How about Travis Kelce? He's there. He is all over the place, as we know, because of his his relationship that everybody knows about with Taylor Swift. What does he feel, Scotty, about his life being so public? Travis Kelce for you.
You think you've been very gracious answering all these questions. Do you think it's fair that you're being asked so many questions about your personal life during a professional moment?
I think it's fair. I mean, everybody's having fun with it, and it's not like you guys are up here teeing off on me left and right. You know, everybody's having a good time with it, so how could I be upset about it?
Yeah.
No, is what he's saying. No.
Look, I mean, is there anything funnier than that? Honestly, Warrick, how you doing, buddy? My man, I'm Ferrall. It's simple. I've always wondered about that. Like, when the guy said, "Thanks for being so gracious, answering all these questions," and then he said, "What's it like answering all these questions?" And then I was like, "Wow, this is as bad as it gets." And then you wonder, the guy's dating a chick that is worth billions. She's worth more than the NFL. Of course, someone asked me today, "Would you interview her?" And I was like, "Of course I would interview her. She's worth more than the NFL." I mean, this chick puts on a concert. Her tickets are $20,000 to see her perform. I mean, when she puts on a concert, she makes literally like $500 million every concert she puts on. The one she's doing in the Far East on Saturday, she'll make more money than any of the players in the Super Bowl. Warrick Dunn is here, legend. Now, listen, I have to tell you, I have a couple of problems with you to begin with. I really do. I have a couple of problems with you.
We have problems already.
We're going to start having problems immediately because I'm a Canes fan.
Well, I can't.
And so you and I really, there's a line. I think we'll just put this here.
Yeah, we're good.
This will be the demarcation line of our friendship, because even though I recognize your glory in the NFL, I refuse to acknowledge your decisions that you made as a young man of where you would go to school. When my son said he wanted to perhaps go to Florida State University, unlike my other friends whose kids go there, I said I would not pay for it. I will not pay for you to go to Florida State. I'll pay for you to go anywhere but there. Although I admit openly that the Canes are ass mustard now. They're awful. They have lost, 8 straight bowl games? It's so embarrassing.
Yeah. Well,
we lost to Louisiana Tech 22-0. I had to wear a dress to work for a week.
Oh, wow. Well, I just say, Miami is going through some things. I mean, all schools are, but you made some bad decisions early in life to go to Miami.
I didn't go to Miami.
Oh, you didn't? You're just a fan.
So I've loved the Canes my whole life because I've had a place in Miami my whole life.
Okay.
And I've been going to their games my whole life. I have like thousands of dollars in Canes gear. I'm friends with the program. I knew all the coaches from Howard to Dennis to every coach. They all knew me. I did a #1 radio show in Miami for a few years.
Okay.
My show has been on there for 30 years, so I've had a relationship with the school. I went to Indiana University in the Big Ten.
Gotcha.
And as you know, they don't play football there.
No, they don't play football.
Just
but
basketball.
Because the basketball team.
They won the title when I was there in basketball. Now I have to ask you about. I'm going to talk to you real quick about some of the great things you're doing with kids, which I think is important. Obviously, you're for single parents, you're helping them with their kids and building them houses, giving them homes. I think that's like far out there, kick ass.
Well, no, we're creating stability, right? I think all the parents who we support, that we help, are doing their part to create that stability for their kids long term, and just having a stable house. Also providing the down payment assistance and fully furnishing the homes. We're helping families have a true...
How gratifying is that?
I mean...
it's great for them, but does it make your heart and soul feel good? It has to.
Well, it does. When I have a bad day, I can reflect on handing the keys
to the things that really matter.
Yeah, and it makes me also think about my mom, and this is what she wanted.
What she went through?
What she went through losing her life, this is what she wanted for us.
I lost my mom, too. I know. I lost my mom and dad. Now, so you own a piece of the Falcons to this day. Yes. So you're like tight with Blank. He's an incredible guy. I lived in Atlanta. I worked in Atlanta.
Okay.
3 times I lived in Atlanta.
Okay.
What is that like for you? I know you played there, and now you own a piece. You like having a slice of the pie?
Well, I do enjoy having a slice of the pie. It's Mr. Blank. he's been like a father figure to me, and,
Right.
and I built a really good relationship with him because our relationship didn't start up. The beginning wasn't about football. It was about the community, and it was about caring about other people and the things that he does in the community with his family foundation. And he also supports me in what I'm doing and the things that I'm trying to do to help grow the impact of helping people live better lives, healthier lives. So I am thankful for his relationship, also the partnership, and, being a partner in the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, it's...
Now they got a coach that everybody loves. They didn't love the other one. And they moved. I'm a Steeler fan. They moved him to the Steelers. Art's with the Steelers now, OC. But you got your guy that everybody loves from the Rams.
Oh, yeah. Raheem has a great opportunity.
Popular.
Yeah, he's popular. But I think when you have a losing season and now you bring in a new guy, it's always going to be a lot of energy. It's going to be a lot of people are ready. And
You were so great. It's so unfortunate that you play for teams I hate. You know what I mean? Florida State, the Bucs, the Falcons.
You can't hate them all.
The fact that you're blessing families with homes is the only thing good about you, I think, left. Or that you own a piece of the Falcons and you know Arthur, and I like Arthur. I think he's cool. I give you like a 2 out of 10 in terms of overall human being. It's great having you on the show, brother. I love you.
Appreciate it.
Warrick, Dunn.
Forget what your offense is, like the Baltimore Ravens did against the Kansas City Chiefs. Work off of Christian McCaffrey, but I do believe Brock Purdy is ready for the moment, at least play-calling-wise.
Kyle Shanahan, who called the plays as the offensive coordinator, had a 25-point lead, and his running back, Devontae Freeman, with that 25-point lead, touched the ball 4 times in the second half.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Super Bowl is set in Vegas. We get a rematch from just a few years ago.
The only consistency in the playoffs has been Travis Kelce.
Brock Purdy, back-to-back weeks throwing 1 touchdown pass, right? You can't win MVP with 1 touchdown pass. I hate the Chiefs, but I bet on them.
This is going to be a game that is played inside a field goal now from a spread perspective.
All that matters is there's one game left, the big game.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
They have played terrible football, and yet they always win. Have you noticed? Everyone keeps talking about how bad the Niners suck as they win every week. They win every game, even games they should have. They're down 24-7, and they still won.
Now we have the first excuse when the Niners lose on Sunday night. They practiced on a bad field at UNLV. They didn't get the proper conditions.
Ferrall coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Trey Wingo's been here for less than 3 minutes, and he's already seen me offend at least 12 people.
I do not believe that. I will not. Sure, whatever needs to be said.
It was a good joke. I thought it was a good line that my wife lured me. And when I said that, Misty fell over and started eating peanut butter M&Ms to get through it. She started sweating and panting. Now, let's get real here for a second.
Yeah.
Will you admit to where you live? Can I say that?
Sure, absolutely.
Because I don't like people knowing where I live. So many people want to kill me. I have so many death threats. But you live part of the time, which would be like when old people that live in the north go to Florida for the winter, and people from Quebec and from Canada, the Bluebirds or whatever they call them, go to Florida, and everyone in Florida hates them. You're smart enough to not go there. You go to Maui.
Yeah. Flew in from Maui last night. Yeah,
boy, it must suck for you, Trey.
It's a cross to bear, but I do it with honor.
Do you? So you know some of my friends that live there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jason Harris.
Yep, absolutely. Artist.
He's a big time artist out there in Maui. Everyone loves Jason. You don't want to hang around him too long. You could be influenced.
Okay.
I try to.
He's an influencer. Is that what we're saying?
He sure is in a different way than most influencers. But I don't get involved. I love the guy though. He's the coolest guy ever. You know, I talk to him all the time about what happened in Maui because I've been there a lot. I've been to Lahaina a lot. I've been to Kona a lot. I've been to all the islands. I think it's the most magnificent place on earth. And then Tahiti. I'll give Bora Bora, Raiatea, Papiat Marea a nice shout out.
Absolutely.
But you know how cool it is. What is it like for you? Because he lives on the other side of the island and wasn't affected by the fires.
Yeah.
What was it like for you to see that and what it did to the island and what it did to the people and the families?
Yeah, it's been devastating. You know, it's about 6 months now since the fires on August 8th, and it's going to be a long recovery. And but the people are resilient and strong, and that's one of the beautiful things about the island is the people and the culture. And you know, the folks from Lahaina Luna High School are going to be part of the coin toss ceremony here at the Super Bowl.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I was on the plane with them last night on the way over.
Drinking.
No, I was sleeping. But you know, it's nice to see that the kids are going to be a part of this because obviously their world was turned upside down.
Right.
And so many families that are just trying to find a way to make it to the next day. So it's great to see that. You know, and people talk about Lahaina. Oh, I loved going there and visiting the shops and the restaurants, and all that's true. But it was also the cultural center of Hawaii.
Right, so everyone lived there.
Yeah, it was the capital when King Kamehameha ruled the islands.
They kind of made it a touristy trap. Originally, it was much more than that. It was kind of ruined by that,
exactly.
wasn't it?
It's a cultural, iconic place for the native Hawaiians. So
do you? I've heard rumors that you have surfed Jaws and Pipeline naked on a shortboard.
Incorrect. I have been to Jaws once and said, "My God, what are those people doing?"
So I surfed in Huntington Beach, and I suck, but I love surfing, and I turn my kids onto it, and I think it's the coolest sport ever, and I love watching it. I love going to the OP Pro, the U.S. Open. I love Nazare and France. I love watching Tahiti.
The 100-foot wave series on HBO Max was incredible.
That was incredible. I watched that. I'll watch that over and over and over and never get bored.
And then Duke Manakoa, they just came out with a documentary about him called The Waterman, narrated by Jason Momoa, who's a native Hawaiian.
Right.
This guy swam for the U.S. in 5 different Olympics.
He was Aquaman.
Yes. Jason Momoa, yes.
You think it'd be cool to have that ability?
It would be cool to be Jason Momoa on a lot of levels.
I think he got divorced, so he's available now, and I think my wife wants to sleep with him. She mentioned that to me.
We all make choices.
But do you think, like, when you go to Pipeline, it's pretty cool to watch it? Do you ever go watch the surf competitions?
Yeah,
How do you feel about your tan? Because you have to feel some level of... Because you don't need makeup anymore on TV because you have a nice golden tone. I have a tan, and you look a lot like me. We look fantastic, I think, honestly.
Can we get a second opinion on that anywhere?
Misty, give us
anywhere?
That's double thumbs up
Thank
right
you.
there.
Well, that's after the peanut butter M&M, so I appreciate it.
Isn't it nice, though, having some color and being in a warm place all the time with great, beautiful oceans and waves and surfers and bikinis?
I get in the water every day. I have a Zen thing about the water.
Isn't it great?
It sort of cleanses you, you know?
It does.
It gives you clarity and Yeah, gets out the toxins.
It actually, I think surfing and salt water makes me smell better.
I would agree with that.
I don't even think I need deodorant at that point.
I think it deodorizes you naturally.
I think it's a natural
The enzymes, it all just comes in there and gets everything out.
But when you're in the East Coast and you live there, and
5 showers a day,
it is a little bit a little slice of hell in the East Coast,
especially this time.
What was it like when you did it, ESPN in Bristol? That's in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, and I grew up in Connecticut. I went to high school right outside New York City, a little town called Greenwich.
Oh yeah, that's where all the money is.
Yeah, I was on the wrong end of the.
That's where they hide the money in Greenwich, Connecticut.
People like, oh, you're from Greenwich. Did you come to Bristol? I'm like, why would anyone leave Fairfield County to go to Bristol?
Do you know I got a buddy that has a basketball AAU program in Greenwich? You know why he has it there? So he can rip off all the parents that have all the money. It's called a racket. He has it in all the rich areas. His AAU program, it's everywhere. But
that's just a good business model.
But how about your new business model? I think it's cool what you're doing, because I think your new show where you do what ifs with Kevin
routes.
Frazier. Now, first of all, I want to get this right.
Yeah.
So I know Kevin. Like, he wouldn't admit that he knows me, but I've met him through the years. I've been on his show a few times out in Los Angeles when I did, movies, shows, TV shows, series. He's always interviewing people, and he's a really cool dude. He did ESPN forever, and so you're doing what if? So alternate routes, what if situations, like what if, here's another one. I'm going to make one up for you right now. What if the Aaron Rodgers didn't beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl? I would have, what if? I would have 7 Super Bowl trophies right now and not 6.
That's correct. Instead of they're searching for Stairway to 7, right? They would be Stairway to 7 already, because they were Sixburg when they got their 6th, and that would have been Stairway to 7. That would have changed things. That would have put Ben Roethlisberger on a different arc. Then he would have 3 Super Bowl rings and be up there with the likes of Troy Aikman and some of these other guys. So it changes things dramatically. A really good one for alternate routes, by the way, Amazon and Wondery. It launches March 5th on Wondery Plus, then worldwide on March 12th. What if the Seahawks had just been smart enough?
What is Wondery again, by the way?
Wondery is the biggest podcast producer in the...
Oh, that's right. I've seen the commercials for Wondery.
Yeah. Wondery, and then Amazon, obviously, is the biggest company.
So whose idea was it? Yours or Kevin's?
It was a combination effort of a lot of people.
Were you on the phone a lot or something, negotiating who had better ideas that day?
We actually have a production meeting once a week to talk about ideas, and one of them would be... And this was one of the first episodes we're going to drop is... Remember when Michael Jordan was a freshman at North Carolina?
Of course.
NCAA title game bets Patrick Ewing and Georgetown. He hit the game-winning shot on a team that had James Worthy
on the wing.
Yeah, on the wing. It's Sam Perkins. All these guys.
On the wing go.
On it. There it is. All these guys that went on to have great Hall of Fame careers in the NBA, but they put it in the hands of a freshman. What if he had missed? Like, would he have been crushed? Would that have destroyed Michael Jordan's competitive drive? Would he then go on to be a degenerate gambler at a public golf course in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Of course, he's the greatest player ever, and that's how that turned out. Here's another one for you. What if Syracuse didn't blow a 13-point lead with 3 minutes to go, and Keith Smart hit the shot at the Superdome in '87 to hand Bob Knight his 3rd national title in the Indiana Hoosiers?
Yep.
What if...
Same spot, by the way, where Jordan hit it. Same spot, by the way, where Jordan hit it in the same arena. What if Chris Webber doesn't call the timeout?
Same arena.
What if Chris Webber doesn't call the timeout?
I saw him back there with the Fab Five the other day, a month ago. I couldn't believe it. Didn't he hate him for a while?
He was on the outs until he wasn't. And
he was on the outs in
family reunion. Well, after that also, because it was some of his stuff that came back that got the Fab Five in trouble. And of course now it doesn't matter because the athletes are being paid in college as they should have been.
I think he's good doing games.
Yeah, I like Webber doing games.
I think he's good doing games.
I agree.
I actually liked Doc doing games, and I certainly don't like watching Doc coach because all he does is lose.
Correct.
I've never seen anyone lose Game 7s, playoff series 3-1s, 3-2s. What other what-ifs you got going on this show? This is a really cool thing. I could actually do this for hours.
Right, that's the whole premise.
That's what's cool about it.
How about this one?
It's a brilliant idea, dude.
You mentioned
really
Doc
is.
Rivers. How about this one? What if the NBA didn't veto the CP3 Lakers trade?
Remember that one?
Yeah, so now, think about this, right? David Stern, the commissioner, came in and said, no, we're not doing that. And people are like, well, how can you have a commissioner interfere with the team and sort of be involved in that? Well, remember, Bud Selig, while he was the Brewers owner for years, was the interim commissioner of Major League Baseball for 13 years.
How corrupt was that?
Exactly. So if in that situation, CP3 and Kobe become the backcourt, CP3 finally gets probably multiple rings.
Right.
Kobe might surpass Michael Jordan's total.
And instead, CP3 has none.
Exactly.
Here's another one for you. I could do this all day.
Yeah.
What if Mario Lemieux didn't have cancer and a bad back? Would he have passed Wayne Gretzky's records?
Instead of Ovi maybe going there, right?
And now do you think, what if Ovi is going to fall short of it because what's happened to him this year, he doesn't score goals anymore.
Correct.
He hit the Father Time wall. He hit a brick wall like Pink Floyd.
Exactly right. It's real and spectacular.
Do you think Lemieux would have broken Gretzky's records because he scored 5 points a night?
I think he had every opportunity to. There's no question about it. You know, what if...
when you grew up in Greenwich, were you a Whaler fan?
Dun, 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 the old brass bonanza.
Do you have a Whaler sweater?
I do have a.
Have you ever worn it to Duke's for dinner in Hawaii?
I have not made that crossover. That sweater stays in the Connecticut.
Do the people, obviously, they have to know? Do they freak out when they see you in Hawaii? Like, I know this guy.
No.
How do I know you? Do you get any of that?
I every once in a while, I was like, you look familiar.
You look familiar to me. How do I know you?
I said in a former life,
I dated your mother 20 years ago.
And the DNA test came back
what's
positive.
The deal? Do you have like a big family and everything out there? Or?
Yeah, well, we live out there, and our kids live on the West Coast, so it's closer than my parents live.
So your kids are grown up now?
Yeah, they're out of the house. Yeah. So
are you older than me?
I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 58.
Yeah, I'm older than you.
Really?
Yeah.
By a couple years?
A couple years. Just turned 60.
And so you have how many kids?
2 kids.
And they're grown up?
Yep, 31 and 28.
So mine's at San Diego State, a freshman, and I got a high school sophomore basketball player.
Yeah, ours are out of the house.
She plays in that AAU program with the rich kids.
With the rich kids in Greenwich?
She lights them up and humiliates them, and then they go home to bigger houses than mine. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause I live in New York City where you have nothing.
So you take the small victories. The small victories.
So this show, you said it was on Wondery and Amazon, and people can find it and listen to it. Tell them again how they do this, because I think it's a really cool. I can't wait to watch it because just listening to you talk about it is cool. I can't imagine what it's going to be like on it.
You'll appreciate this one. One of the ones we're doing is, remember, the Bulls and Lakers in 1979 had a coin toss to decide who would get the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft, and it was Irvin Johnson.
Right.
Johnson. Lakers won, they get the coin toss. What happens if the Bulls win the coin toss? Because if he goes there, he's paired with Artis Gilmore. And if you look at Artis Gilmore's numbers compared to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's numbers, at that point in their careers, almost identical. Almost identical. So Magic going to Chicago, does Artis Gilmore revive his career? Does he eventually become the leading scorer in the history of the NBA instead of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
And do they win upwards of 10 trophies?
Right. And does Michael Jordan ever exist in Chicago? Does he go somewhere else? In fact, we have one that's so weird because of how this would change that instead of Barack Obama, Charles Barkley becomes the first African-American.
Who did you think was better? And I know he won all the titles, but Larry won some too. Who did you like watching play ball better, Magic or Larry Bird? Because I grew up in Indiana, and I went to Indiana, and watching that guy Larry Bird. Now I hate the Celtics dead more than any team on earth. I hate them. But I watched him. I got 30 seconds, respectfully. I watched him. I've never seen a white boy play basketball like that before in my life. Maybe White Chocolate.
I was about to say Jason Williams is the only one that comes close.
But he was different. He didn't rebound, and he didn't do the things that he did.
Okay, how about this one? Did a bad back stop Larry Bird from being the greatest?
Yes.
Right? Did the bad back stop him from being Michael Jordan?
Congratulations on the show,
Thanks,
and congratulations that you're smart enough to live in Maui.
I just go where I'm told.
He's got it all kinds of figured out. I am so jealous. I hate you. I hope you have a rainstorm there for a month.
Forget what your offense is, like the Baltimore Ravens did against the Kansas City Chiefs. Work off of Christian McCaffrey, but I do believe Brock Purdy is ready for the moment, at least play-calling-wise.
Kyle Shanahan, who called the plays as the offensive coordinator, had a 25-point lead, and his running back, Devontae Freeman, with that 25-point lead, touched the ball 4 times in the second half.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Super Bowl is set in Vegas. We get a rematch from just a few years ago.
The only consistency in the playoffs has been Travis Kelce.
Brock Purdy, back-to-back weeks throwing one touchdown pass, right? You can't win MVP with one touchdown pass. I hate the Chiefs, but I bet on them.
This is going to be a game that is played inside a field goal now from a spread perspective.
All that matters is there's one game left, the big game.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
They have played terrible football, and yet they always win. Have you noticed? Everyone keeps talking about how bad the Niners suck as they win every week. They win every game, even games they should have. They're down 24-7, and they still won.
Now we have the first excuse when the Niners lose on Sunday night. They practiced on a bad field at UNLV. They didn't get the proper conditions.
Ferrall coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Ferrall finish time from Super Bowl 58. NFLPA's Lloyd Howe says 92% of players want grass fields over turf. Oh, I thought that said smokes grass in fields. Sorry about that. I had that wrong. Bill Belichick, Bill's youngest son, is staying with the Patriots as a safeties coach that none of the players will listen to. Nick Saban joins ESPN's College Game Day, where he will take over that program in short order. Steve Sarkisian says no quarterback battle at Texas. Ewers is the starter, and Arch Manning will stand on the sideline and be miserable for another season. NBA refs to debut sponsored patches at the All-Star Game for Emirates Airlines. They will also sponsor the in-season tournament. Emirates, where you fly to the UAE only on Emirates, I believe. Brewers sign Gary Sanchez signs with the Brewers. Vladdy Jr. gets $19.9 million in arbitration victory. Rays extend manager Kevin Cash and president Eric Neanderthal. Married Minnesota mom accused of having sex with two 15-year-old boys at a hotel after a fight with her husband. That'll teach him. She got in a fight with her husband, so she went down to the park and scored a couple of 15-year-olds playing basketball and decided to have, how should we say, relations. More than 130 on a cruise ship from Florida fell ill with vomiting and diarrhea. Explosive. Explosive D. Not good. A Georgia couple charged in the beating death of their 8-year-old daughter with a rolling pin. They beat her with a rolling pin like that your mom used to make sugar cookies with. That is awful. That story is horrible and heinous. Minor league baseball player abused and spit on by passengers on a Delta flight. People were luging on the flight on Delta, and I thought it was a nice airline. Nothing like a flight with people luging on you. All right, we'll be here again tomorrow. I'm going to be on the radio tonight with Carver High from 8 to 10. Go to FerrallOnTheBench.com for all the action. So long from Sin City.